good morning, and here we are again, DBS This Morning. Wonderful morning to you, and I hope you woke up on the right side of the bed. My grandmother used to say that. I still don't understand what it means, but I hope you woke up on the right side of the bed. This morning, our program, two amazing features. It is Blindness Awareness Month, and we caught up with the Blindness Awareness team, the St. Lucia Blind Welfare Association, and we also caught up with Jessica Jacoby, and we're going to give you some insight to that. We also caught up with Naomi Grandison. She just got back from Jamaica at a poetry fest, where she represented herself and St. Lucia as well. We're going to get some insight from that as well. But first, let's find out what's happening. Kendall, with the headlines.
Good morning. UWP Chairman Thorold Prudence says the SLP administration had no choice but to return opposition leader Alan Shastney to the House of Assembly. This after the hearing for a temporary injunction to prevent the House Speaker from barring the opposition leader from attending House sittings concluded with the two parties agreeing that the suspension would be lifted at the next sitting of the lower house.
They had no choice but to approach the court and to do what they are going to be doing in the next few days. Alan Shastney belongs in the House. Alan Shastney was sent to the House to represent the people of Mico South and the vast number of UWP supporters by extension. So the Labour Party has no right, no business deciding whether he can sit or whether he cannot sit.
The House Speaker, meanwhile, has rebuked what he says is the misrepresentation of the court proceedings by both UWP and SLP supporters for claims that the opposition leader had won the court case. One of many farmers who claim that they are facing eviction from farmlands which they were leasing at a forest estate in Mico is seeking compensation from the landlord of those lands.
When I tried to negotiate with the landlord, he said he wants all his money, the money he said you owe him. And as I tell you, we don't owe him money because what happened, he did not give us a contract after Elsa. Every hurricane, once we have a storm, tropical storm, once we have 100% damage, he gives us 6 months grace period. So that Elsa was in June. Our contract would have ended in July. He never spoke to us because he see we are so resilient and we go back. Because if he had given us a contract at the time and he had told us he would not give us grace period, all of us would have left. So he deliberately let us develop the farm back and plant bananas, planting short-term crops. And in January, he come and tell us we owe him. So we tell we owe him for what? He said we owe him. He did not give us grace period, but he could have told us that.
The landowner in this case has declined to comment on the issue. On Monday, May 15th, about 11:15 a.m., a report of a suspected drowning was conveyed to the police marine unit. From 12:35 p.m., officers of the Grosley police station were informed of the discovery. The deceased, who was later identified as 42-year-old female Andrea Jules of Onsa Castries, was part of a group of 9 persons on board a local vessel traveling from Martinique to St. Lucia, which encountered engine trouble and rough seas, overturned as a result. 8 of the 9 persons were eventually rescued by the French Marine Unit and a French catamaran. Andrea Jules was suspected to have drowned. The body of Andrea Jules was later recovered about 6 nautical miles off Pigeon Island by a local vessel. The police marine unit retrieved the body and she was positively identified by her son. She was later pronounced dead on the scene by a medical practitioner. Investigations are continuing into this matter and the post-mortem examination is scheduled for a later date. Now, due to the occupational health and safety concerns which are being addressed, the staff at the immigration office located at the Lamar Building, Bridge Street in Castries have been divided into 2 shifts until these issues have been resolved. In an effort to continue to provide a professional service, the immigration staff will endeavor to accommodate all individuals who are inside the office before 1:30 p.m. The office will not be processing any express applications at this time unless they are accompanied by medical proof. Persons who need to collect passports are advised to call the Department of Immigration for assistance before going to the immigration office to confirm that your passport is ready for collection. That's a summary of your top stories. Thanks for watching. Good morning.
Thank you, Kendall. Let's take a break. We'll be back with our first feature in a bit. last feature, we caught up with the Blind Welfare Association, but more in-depthly, we spoke to Jessica Jacoby. It is Blindness Awareness Month, the month of May, and we are here down at Constitution Park as part of the activities put on by the St. Lucia the Blind Welfare Association. This is one of the activities which they have put on to continue to raise awareness and, lend support as well. But we are here with Jessica Jacoby. She, of course, is an educator. Jessie, this is my second time encountering you, and you've always been such an impressive person to me. So we are happy to be here on this day and be part to capture some of what is happening here. Talk to us about what's happening here.
Good morning. Indeed, Marine, it's a privilege to sit with you again. Today, in the Constitution Park, it's one of the activities for Blindness Awareness Month. This year we are observing, as usual, today's activity, we have what we call an open day, where we are highlighting the different departments.
No, let's talk to you as well, because it's all about awareness and support as well. And I remember distinctly the last conversation I had with you, where you made it known and you thought it was to note that blindness is not a disease. I want to talk to you also about yourself as a person, as an individual, so we can continue to go on to show just how much a person who is visually impaired is not, it's like disability, like you said.
Right.
So talk to us about that and why it's important for people to acknowledge blindness.
Well, there are persons who are born blind, but blindness is something that can happen. We have a lot of persons who are diabetic in our society, and that's one of the things that can lead to blindness. So in our society, we need to make provisions to ensure students in the education system, having persons employed out there in the public or private sector, and generally having our persons out there living a normal life. It should show persons that everyone needs to be and has to be included.
You were one of the first students to attend the Sir Arthur Lewis Community College as a visually impaired student.
Yes.
That was one of your first barrier breakers.
Yes. I was the first blind student at the college. I attended the A-level department, and it was a challenge, but I can say that at that time, the dean and the lecturers who were there worked alongside with myself and the education unit of the Blind Welfare Association and the association in general to ensure that I received the support. And that's one of the things I would like to encourage organizations out there and persons generally to be open-minded. If you are not open-minded, it makes it even more challenging for persons like myself to try to break the barriers that we are speaking about here today.
Wonderful. Not only that, but as a result of that and your own education, moving on like that, you have been able to be instrumental in implementing some policies, some life-changing policies that is now persons like yourself, persons who are visually impaired, are now being able to benefit from on a national level as well. So speak to us about that.
Well, through advocacy, I have worked through the Blind Welfare Association to ensure that we have treaties like the Marrakesh Treaty, which allows printed material to be made in accessible format for persons who are blind or visually impaired. It's an international treaty. We are also still working with the government to ensure that, yes, the UN Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities has been ratified, but we want implementation, and we are working with the government on that, and this is something I'm very passionate about. Also, there are a number of areas, well, including, I can say that, especially at UWI in Trinidad, through my being a student there and my advocacy, they now have a full-fledged department that caters for persons with special needs.
Wow. And you're now on to trying to achieve your master's. I know you don't want to talk too much about that, but this is so much, and we're highlighting all of these because, again, it's about ensuring that public understands that persons with a disability like blindness is not a cast out. They can go on to live normal and full-fledged lives. So you are now also pursuing your master's. Master's in what?
Well, I'm looking at a master's in international relations. For me, I believe that no matter whether or not you have a disability, you need to make yourself as marketable as possible. And with a disability, it makes it even more challenging to be able to be seen as a quote-unquote normal, a person in society who has something to offer. Though I find that our society makes it even more challenging because sometimes they see you as the blind person, not as the person who is blind. But I try to do whatever courses, whatever opportunities I get, I try to ensure that I take it on. Yes.
Wonderful.
So,
well, we are happy that we were able to catch up with you.
Yes.
And you've been doing a wonderful job, and we appreciate it. And
thank you very much, Maureen.
We appreciate what you're doing. And in our final feature, we caught up with Naomi Grandison. She just got back from Jamaica, where she represented and is very, very excited about what she achieved and accomplished over there at a Poetry Fest. Here with the awesome, beautiful, and talented Naomi Grandison, Ngozi, we call her. Nee, what's going on? That was beautiful, by the way.
Oh my God! Thank you so much for having me, Maureen.
Listen, we had to catch up with you.
Here we are on the DBS Morning Show with Maureen. I'm here. I'm present.
Definitely here, and we're doing this. Is happening. But I've been following you. I see that little busybody has been. I see the little suitcase, and I see a lot of things. I say, oh, we've got to tap into this. Whatever it is, it just looks so interesting, and I'm saying, wow. But more for me is to see that our creators were getting the opportunity to transcend beyond the borders of the shores of St. Lucia. Mm-hmm. So talk to us, darling, about your recent trip. You went to Jamaica.
Yes, I went to Jamaica. My friends asked me. You know, my friends were expecting me to speak with a Jamaican accent, but I haven't. People. Yes. So I was invited to a poetry festival in Jamaica, in Portland, which is on the West Coast, pretty much, and it was really amazing because I got to meet some really amazing poets, some musicians like Amina Blackwood Mix, which is she's an amazing writer and poet. I was invited by pretty much a world-renowned poet who had come down to St. Lucia and seen me performing, referred me to the promoter, and two of us from St. Lucia, one lives in the States, came down to Jamaica for that festival. So it was also an agro festival, so they had a lot of educational stuff around eating and eating well and displays of different cultural acts, along with performances even by Warrior King and big Jamaican artists as well. So it was an enriching experience. An enriching experience, yes.
When you got that call, what was your reaction initially? Because you were here, you're doing a little thing here. I mean, we know Naomi, we know Grandison. Yeah, Grandison perform a little here and there. But to have gotten a call, like you just said, that was a big deal.
It was.
Out of your shores and getting that level of respect placed on your craft, on your creativity. What was that feeling like?
I was interestingly, Maureen, I'll be honest, I was like, wow, it is happening. Because honestly, I always saw myself moving beyond the shores, moving beyond the borders. I have prayed about it. And I was most happy at the way it came and who asked me, who referred me, I should say. And the fact that it was in the Caribbean, that is Jamaica, you know what I mean? Jamaica is, you know, when you ask people, I'm from the Caribbean, they ask you if you're from Jamaica, because you know what Jamaica represents in the music world, in the creative sector. So I felt deeply honored. I was moved. and I just gave praises to the Almighty.
All right. Well, I'm sure we're going to find. I hope you have some footage somewhere from that performance,
I do.
so we can get some to show to our viewers.
Yes, oh yes.
But in terms of the actual event now, your performance and the running and stuff like things, speak to us about the magnitude, what it is that you experience, and in terms of how it is that you're going to juxtapose it to where we at, and some of the things that you think you could have probably brought back home in terms of assisting in the progression of our craft here.
Whoa, I love that question, Maureen. I honestly love that question. I would tell you, it was what I experienced even off stage. I went into a maroon village. And got to experience the past ancestors and slavery in action, and learn and even hold the neck brace that was around the slaves. I got to learn the ancestral dance.
Wow.
And I got to learn more of the Jamaican culture. So what for me it did, and the deep conversations I had, and the performance on the day with the those who were present, and how they listened and absorbed and received me. They actually received me so well that I feel the connections that I have made, I can use this as an opportunity to collab and sort of like do a cultural exchange. It's something that I actually have in my mind and in my heart to do, because we've all remained close, the contacts are there, and there's an opportunity for that exchange to happen where now somebody can come to St. Lucia from Jamaica.
Wow,
so for me, that is what I'm feeling in my soul. And it's interesting that you asked that question. It is interesting that you asked that question.
Because you're already thinking along that line.
Because I was already thinking along that line. But you know, these things take time. But I've already honed it. I've already made the contacts. I've already immersed myself in the culture, in the depth of the conversations. And I felt the love from the crowd. I am beautiful. And by the second sentence, I could see the crowd was drawn in to what I was saying.
The appetite was there.
It was there, and
Wonderful.
it felt, and I was relieved because I know this is another country, and I know this is Jamaica. I don't know how it's going to turn out, and I felt good at the response from the crowd.
Speak now to other creatives like yourself who has been here, shoulder to the wheel, been at it, you know, and it seems like, oh boy, the break is not coming at any time soon.
Right.
You went through that journey. So if you were to speak in terms of inspiring our young creatives who probably might be on the brim of giving up, what would you say?
I would tell them that I've been at this from before 2009. And I think what is most important is to remain confident in who you are, who you see yourself to be. Even if you may have a lot of work to do to bring out what you know is inside, remain committed to bringing it out. And remember that you are here for a purpose. And if you connect your art to a purpose and you refuse to let go of your purpose, do not let anything break you. Always go back to, why am I doing this? When things are not going right, ask yourself, why am I doing? For me, I always tell myself, if I'm not creating or I'm not doing art, whether I'm on a stage or not, whether I make it or not, I would feel like I'm dying inside. Right. So you continue going and you keep consistent and you make contacts and you treat people well, you learn from your mistakes, you take criticisms, you write down, and you try to make the progress. Right. You learn, you don't be afraid of criticisms, my people. That's what I'm saying. Learn from it, be consistent, and create contacts and treat people well. And eventually, as you hone your craft, and whether it's a free show, whether it's a show that pays you big money, you perform the same way. It was a free show that the guy saw me at.
Right.
And he was so impressed.
Wow.
I did it for free. It was a charitable show he saw me at.
Right.
And I got an opportunity to go to Jamaica.
Wow.
So you never know who is watching. So just know who you are. And own it. Don't think that you're there already, but just know that you are born to do something amazing. Yes.
We love it, and we want to say congratulations to you as well.
Much.
In leaving, you want to put out your handles if persons wants to follow and go see.
Oh, most definitely. As the people would say, just Google me, NAOMIEGRANDISON, or on all social media platforms, NGOZI758. So that's Ngozi758. You can't miss me. You can get me on YouTube and on all the platforms. You know, all the music playing platforms, iTunes, Deezer, Spotify, moi là c'est mon là. You can say you're getting me. I am there. Naomi Grandison. That's what you get me on these platforms. So just search for me. You can't miss it. Yeah.
Thank you so much for tapping in with us.
Thanks for having me.
We are proud of
It
you,
was a
girl.
wonderful
Thank you for representing yourself, but most importantly, you represented St. Lucia. We
Amen.
appreciate that. Thank you.
Good morning, DBS family, and welcome to another episode of DBS's Lookbook. And I am Vanessa Henry Long, your certified image consultant, personal stylist, and makeup artist from Lovely Makeup Artistry and Image Consultancy. Today, I am here in a store that has quite a lot of little things. Let me tell you, I was going, like they say, goo goo gaga over accessories. And you know, if you've heard me right here on the Lookbook, you've heard me said this before. Accessories is the vitamins to fashion. And of course, I'm right here at Bijou Turner section at Duty Free Caribbean La Place Carénage, where it's actually a lot of affordable luxuries. Let me tell you, for 40 EC dollars, it looks like you can just get quite a lot of stuff. Between 40 and 55 EC, you can get a lot of accessories to accessorize for this jazz season. Now, I have in hand right now a lovely hat, and I think for the ladies, you know you will need that hat, not just for the beach, but if you want, let's just say you're going on a cruise somewhere with the ladies, you want to accessorize in a way that makes a statement. So in making that statement, you have your little hat. Let me tell you, put it on your head, and for the price point, it is just right. I think when it comes to accessorizing, sometimes we do a little much, but you know, sometimes less is more. So you don't need much. Sometimes you just need a little hat like this with your outfit, and it brings out the pizzazz and the wow in you. Now, for instance, if you're an individual who's not really into hats, but like me, you always feel a little cold, I always say it is wise to have, you know, what we call the pashminas or the shawls. Ladies, it's important to have those neutral colors like this, like the blush or the whites or the blacks, and I always say navy blue is like a new black. It is wise to have a neutral color when it comes to accessorizing, especially with your professional or your casual way. So neutral colors are a must, and it's important too to add essentials like these, like scarves and pashminas, to your closet. You will hear me talking a lot about accessorizing in this segment because, again, it's important to not just be dull. We're not being dull in this season. If you know you're making a statement, one of the easiest ways to do that is by accessorizing. And what I've discovered in this little section of this store at La Place Carénage, Duty Free Caribbean, you can get all the little pieces to put together. Currently, they do have a special run-in where you can buy two for a great price of about 66 EC dollars, 67 EC dollars duty free, or duty paid under 100 EC dollars. Now, what's fab about that? You can get some clutches, some pashminas, some sunglasses, some caps, whatever that fancies you as it relates to accessorizing. But one of the things I want to leave with you as we end this segment of the lookbook, remember, when it comes to accessorizing, you do you. You make it fun. You make it exciting. Don't be afraid to step out of your comfort zone and get colors too that are popping. If you're not big into colors, stick to the neutrals. You can never go wrong. I hope you did enjoy this segment on the lookbook. See you next time.
And that is our show for this morning. I hope you had a wonderful time. Let's meet again tomorrow right here for DBS This Morning. I'm Maureen.